Well, David, welcome to Alumni Today, and thanks for sitting down with me. Since the last time I saw you, you are now president of the Alumni Association's Board of Directors. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How is that going?
It's going great. It's like a whirlwind right now with school starting back. There's just so many activities going on. It's a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, and getting to meet a lot of new people and get involved in a lot of really cool things.
Now, you have something else going on. Both of your children are in UNC Charlotte, correct?
That's right. I have a son that's a junior, and my daughter, Sarah, is a freshman.
So they're following in Dad's footsteps because you too are an alum.
That's right, and so is my wife, Sherry.
Okay, and now what did you major in? When were you here, and how did you end up at UNC Charlotte?
Well, I majored in engineering, science, mechanics, and materials, which is now called mechanical engineering, but back then we had a kind of slightly different program, but it's essentially mechanical engineering. And I ended up in Charlotte, really. I was a newlywed, and I had made a decision to go back to school, but I knew I was going to have to work my way through school, and the company I was working for at the time has an office in Charlotte. So I figured out it would be easy to stay employed, start work here. Plus, when I made my campus visit here to Charlotte, the staff were just so warm and accepting of me. You know, I'd been out of school for 7 years and was pretty intimidated really about the thought of going back to college, you know, not having taken any courses in 7 years. And when I arrived on campus though, everybody was so nice, and I felt like, well, this is the right place for me, and I haven't regretted that decision since then.
That's always so nice to hear. We have great faculty and staff here. And is there anyone in particular in the engineering program or elsewhere that really had a profound impact on your life? You just said that they made you feel so welcome. So is there anybody in particular?
Well, most of the ones that taught me have retired now, but but actually I did have the opportunity last Friday night to attend the Bank of America Excellence in Teaching Awards.
Oh, yes.
And Yogi Kakad was one of the 5 nominees, and Dr. Kakad taught me circuits. And of course, as a mechanical engineer, electrical engineering was not a high priority for me, but circuits was a required course. So, you know, at the time I thought, well, I'll just get this behind me and I'll never have to think about it again. But it turns out I use circuits all the time in my work. And I had a chance to go talk to him last Friday and thank him for taking the time to do a good job teaching that to me. So he and many of his family members were there Friday night as a finalist for that award, and it was great to see him again. Also, Dr. Mahani was there. He's our materials engineering professor. Dr. Ryder from the math department, he taught me calculus all the way back in 1980.
Oh, wow.
And he's teaching my daughter, Sarah, calculus this semester, which is pretty outstanding in itself. But, you know, thinking about teachers that have made a huge difference, Dr. Ryder certainly has. He was a great math teacher, still is a great math teacher. And actually he does so much in the community. He works with Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools and math clubs and contests like math counts. And he's just a wonderful example of how great our faculty is, not only to our students here on campus, but they're making a huge difference to our community too by all the other things they get involved in.
Being in engineering, I know engineering always has something exciting going on. You know, what about their motorsports program? You know, what's going on over there?
Well, you know, it's great because motorsports became our 7th alumni chapter this year, and we had our first meeting back in May. And talk about an exciting group of people to be around. I mean, that really is. We had our first meeting over in the Kowicki Motorsports Lab. And,
named in honor of?
Named in honor of Alan Kowicki, who is a former Winston Cup champion. His family made a significant gift to our College of Engineering to fund part of the operation of that motorsports center. And we have a very dynamic chapter. We had several people sign up to be officers in that chapter. And we have a great picture that was taken that night of Dr. Johnson, our dean, sitting in one of our race cars that belongs to our program over there, and all the chapter officers are surrounded by him. It's one of the best pictures I've ever seen of an alumni chapter. But that's a great chapter, and they're going to do great things for this campus.
Well, as president, since you mentioned the chapters, is that something we're considering growing, or how many chapters do we have?
We have 7 chapters now. And I think during my tenure as president, I'm not going to be so focused on growing more chapters, but really to spend more time with the 7 chapters we have so that we can do more for them to help them develop their leadership, help them with programming, build more interest in what they do as a chapter. There's a lot of opportunities to add chapters, but I think I'll spend more time just developing the 7 we have.
Okay. Well, and I know there are lots of ways to get involved, you know, with Charlotte and as a community, but how can alums get involved with you all? What can they do? How can they come to campus and visit us and participate in the various events that we have?
Well, you know, we have so many great opportunities on campus, as you know. I mean, you can drive on campus almost any day or night of the week and find something going on somewhere. And one of my favorite things that I follow is women's basketball. Women's basketball is one of our best kept secrets here on campus. We have just an outstanding program. This past spring, we went to the WNIT Final Four, the postseason tournament, and we just had an excellent year. We have most of our players back. We just graduated 2 players is all this past spring semester. And many of our players come from right around this area. We have Epiphany Woodson, who went to school at Charlotte Day, Country Day. We have Jay Forney, who went to Butler High School over in Mint Hill. So we have a lot of local talented players. We recruited 2 freshmen from Salisbury High.
Wow.
We have a new freshman from Dudley High School in Greensboro. So under the leadership of our new coach, Kara Consuegra, we are really going to go places this year. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if our team is in the NCAA Sweet 16. We just have that kind of talent, and we have just an excellent coaching staff. The only thing we need is more fans in the arena, in Halton Arena, because they really put on a great show, and we just have a wonderful program.
Well, that's great to hear. You know, with football, with women's basketball, I really think UNC Charlotte's one to watch. We have a lot of up-and-comers, and it's nice to see kids from the community coming here to school. That's part of our growth. So how else do you see, I know you guys are supporting scholarships as well. Talk to me a little bit about that. How are we supporting current students here? You mentioned the basketball team, but also our academic scholarships and needs-based scholarships.
We have a lot of different programs throughout the year to raise money for our scholarship funds. We have one coming up actually in October. We have the 4.9K road race. I think it's the last weekend in October to be here on campus, and all the proceeds from that road race will go towards our scholarship funds. Also, the easiest thing that any of us can do, whether we're alums or students or just 49er fans, is buy a 49er license plate, because every year a portion of that fee goes towards our scholarship fund. Now you have to have a license plate anyway, so why not buy a 49er license plate? And that's a great thing that anybody can do and show your support at the same time for the program.
You mentioned before that you came back to school after 7 years of a break. What advice do you have for other people considering coming to UNC Charlotte who may not be right out of high school, but they may be a little bit older or just looking for a career change? What advice do you have for them? Because you've been very successful. You work for
I work for Areva, and I started out working for Duke Energy. Okay. Actually, back when I was still a student, back then Duke had several large construction projects underway, and they had a pretty active co-op program with the College of Engineering. So I started through the co-op program working for Duke when I was a sophomore here at UNC Charlotte. But my advice to anybody really, especially some of the older students who are thinking about going back to school, and let's face it, you know, in today's economy, a lot of people are thinking about going back to school, whether it's for a bachelor's degree or a master's, is my advice would be don't be intimidated by the fact that you're going to be on campus with a bunch of 17 or 18-year-olds, because you're going to be surprised how many returning students are here on campus. It's a much greater, much more diverse population than you might think. You'll see people from all walks of life, you know, many nationalities, many different age groups. So, you know, I can't imagine anyone would feel isolated or left out if they came on campus. It's just a very diverse and very dynamic place to be.
Well, and UNC Charlotte has so much to offer, both academically and extracurricularly, and on behalf of the Alumni Association. So, well, David, thanks for sitting down with me today, and it was great talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.